Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Think Big. This is episode 108, which is kind of wild. I say that every single week just because consistency compounds, and here we are. So it's good to see some of you guys here early in the chat. Sydney already said first comment. Giovanna's in here. Brian's in here. Yeah, tonight this is gonna be an episode for you guys. This is going to be a open Q&A. I think we like this style of episode. We don't get to do it regularly or as often, but I really enjoy these sort of episodes because it allows you to get your questions asked. I know Sam gets overwhelmed in the DMs. I know I get overwhelmed in the DMs and text messages to the point where I just quite frankly stop responding. And this becomes our platform and outlet to be able to reach back and communicate with folks. So what I want to make sure you guys are aware of is you're going to have to ask some questions tonight. We got some questions queued up from people in the past who did not get an opportunity to get it answered. But before we jump into that, Sam, how you feeling today, bro?
Dude, I feel great. And I love that you said that, man. This past and we're gonna be doing a few things. Really quick, guys. We are doing a giveaway tonight. We're actually doing two giveaways, which is gonna be sick. And one that's very Marlon inspired, and then one that's very like me inspired. And so I'm excited to give away because we love that's actually my favorite stuff, dude. It's not even just the Q and A's and getting to know each other, getting to know people. It's having that interaction and then picking someone to then go and bless with something, right? And seeing the back end effect of it. It's always so cool, especially like when people, we've given away a lot of books, we've been given away a lot of $100 million leads from Alex Ramosi. And the coolest thing for me is when we get tagged in the reels of them opening it. I'm like, holy crap, like you're a real person. Like it's so cool to see. But guys, today's episode is very much inspired by the fact that Marlon is working so damn hard, performing for his high performance coaching students. He's working so hard pouring into his community, and I'm working super hard in my businesses to grow them. And what ends up happening is if you guys have DM'd me on Instagram, especially on Facebook, you know that I am almost impossible to get a hold of. And the reason why is like I look on Facebook, guys, I have over 700 unread text message requests. It's daunting. I see that and I'm like, bro, I don't even want to try to tackle this. And it just keeps compounding and growing. And that's why we love these things, because here's the thing, guys. It's really easy for people to slide into Marlon's DMs and let's be honest here. They've never built a relationship, right? They've probably never showed up to anything Marlon put so much effort and attention into. But when you guys are here, a lot of you guys are here week over week over week. Some of you guys have been with us from like the freaking very beginning, and you've seen all 108 episodes. Like you're the ones who actually deserve Marlon's time. You deserve to get more of the attention. You absolutely do. And I love being able to give that to folks. But dude, you asked me how I've been doing. So I've been drinking this, man. It's ionized alkaline water. It's like pH balanced or something. Do I know what it does? Hell no. I think it's a cult. And I think I'm in a cult now that I drink this stuff, but I like it. It's super cool, bro. I'm like walking around. I'm like, dude, I'm ionized all day. I don't know if it does anything, but it's cool water. So I feel great. To answer your question.
That's how I feel about the hydrogen bottle waters. I got these like bottles. I think you got one when you were at our mastermind. Yep, there it is. You click the button, pushes hydrogen into the water. Quite frankly, I can't tell you if it's actually doing anything, but I mean, the placebo effect is working well with me. I definitely, when I drink that water, I do feel on another level.
Yeah, so I love that. And it's, and not to get into this, but anything that makes you excited, right, about a healthy habit. And if you can make water's the most boring thing there is, but it's like, if you can make water fun, you're just going to help drink more of it. But let's do this. Guys, I want you guys to absolutely blow up the chat with questions. Like that is the entire goal today, is for you guys to blow the hell up out of the chat. I want to know what mindset issues you're running into, what constraints you're running into in your business. I want to understand all of it. Why? So we can solve it right here, right now. And here's the key. Marlon's got a sick giveaway tonight. I've got a sick giveaway tonight. Things that especially something I'm really excited about. And I'm going to be announcing a private special training with me for the first time here tonight. So we're only going to pick people who are extremely active and who are asking questions and who we want to be able to engage with the most. Those people who are going to win the giveaways, and they're the people who are going to be guaranteed a spot at my private training. The training's completely free, but it is private. I'm not going to do 500, 600, 700 people. It's going to be locked at 100. And so people who are in the chat and who are engaged are going to be the first ones who get in, and everyone else, sorry, I'll see you next year, maybe at a training. So Marlon,
Yes, sir.
let's do this, man. Do you have any? Because I know you get so many amazing questions.
Yeah, I actually got over here like a list. What I've been doing is I got a list of all the questions that I never got the opportunity to answer publicly. Last week I went on Instagram Live and I was answering some of these questions just as a way of getting through the list. And so I got the first question right here if you're ready for it.
Let's do it.
All right, awesome. So this one came in and it said, how do you rein in focus when your phone won't stop buzzing and distractions seem endless?
Ooh. I like this because you and I have very specific approaches to this on social media. We talked about this a lot. Okay, but I want to hear the Marlon answer first. What do you think?
I mean, my answer, it's funny. Chris knows me. Chris in the chat, Chris Dickerson already hit it there. He said silent mode. My phone exists as a ghost, whether right or wrong. This is the choice I made to leave my phone in do not disturb mode 24/7. And this was after the video you showed me, Sam, which actually, funny enough, I showed my community the other night from Alex, the attention video. And so ever since then, my phone has lived in do not disturb mode. I do not allow it to pull me out of distraction. And what I do is I utilize the Pomodoro technique when I'm working, which is effectively giving yourself a certain amount of time where you're in your productive flow state work. So I'll typically set my timer from anywhere minimum about 45 minutes to 90 minutes. And I use a kitchen timer. Shout out to Sam for sending me that gift. And I don't use my cell phone. The reason I don't use my cell phone is my cell phone has so many uses in my life. It's my entertainment hub, it's my social hub, it's my calculator, it's my connect to family, it's my connect to friends, it's my do work, it's my make money. It's so many associations that when I go to pick it up, my nervous system doesn't understand what's the need for it right now. Therefore, it's easy to get distracted because I've allowed so many neural connections to be made with that one device. Whereas that kitchen timer only serves one purpose for me. It says, you're going to focus until this timer starts beeping. And this is how I keep myself in a focused state. This is how I keep myself from being distracted is I remove the distractions entirely. I remove the temptations entirely. Kind of like if you were to take it a little bit strange, but like if any of you have ever watched a movie and the person in it is like about to go do like some crazy psychedelics, they say, hey, leave your cell phone out of the room. Don't take it with you while you're there. Work is the same way. So turn it off. If you're in a position where you need your phone to have inbound calls, get a work line. Get a phone number that only rings to make you money. That's my take on it. What about you, Sam?
Okay, so really quick, let me put this out here because I just realized that I didn't go live on Instagram.
By the way, she says, I remember Sam sending you that kitchen timer.
Who said that?
Tawana. Shout out to Tawana. Good to see you here, Tawana. I miss you.
Dude. Okay, so here we go. Yes, I love this. Freaking love this. That video that Marlon mentioned, guys, it's actually, in my opinion, the most important video that I've ever seen, ever in my life. If I have to choose one almighty video that is out there on the interwebs that has had the greatest impact on me, it was that one video. And one thing in the grand hypothesis of that video is simple. The grand thesis is that time is not your greatest resource. Attention is, especially as an entrepreneur. And so I love the idea of, Marlon, you hit on this, these neural connections that you have with different objects around you. I like to think of them as associations, right? Your phone you have associations pre-built into it. For some of you guys, it's going to be friends, family, spouses, girlfriends, boyfriends. It's going to be social media. It's going to be Tinder or Grindr, whatever you guys are into. It's all of these things. And if you have like 20 associations out of them and only one of them is work, the problem is when you pick this up you're trying to use it for 1/20th of the possible associations you have. The problem is 19 out of the other 20 are gonna rear their ugly heads and take you off course. So I love that. And Marlon taught me this. He taught me the idea of environmental design, right? And so this room specifically, I only work in this room. I am literally not allowed to enter this room unless I am going into deep work. Usually it's completely blacked out. I have no lights on in here, and all I do is just work on the business. So if you are struggling with focus or lack thereof, you need to put your phone away. And also, here's a big thing, something we've talked about, it's been huge for me especially, is reclaiming your social media algorithm. You need to freaking unfollow everybody who's useless. Like, you guys are following so many of your friends who, let's be honest, aren't doing what you want to do, or aren't achieving what you want to achieve, or aren't teaching what you want to learn. And your social media algorithm is actually one of the greatest, most ninja influences you have in your life. And you don't realize how powerful it is until you actively choose to reclaim it. And what you can do is you can rig your algorithm to be a teacher, and you can start using it to micro learn. And Marlon, I think for you, very similar to me, I would say my feed right now on my Instagram is predominantly marketing, editing, production. A lot of video producers talking about lighting and cameras and very nuanced things that, usually it's like, maybe if you were a videographer, this would be your feed. Why? Because that's the next step for me, is starting to learn all that stuff to take content to another level. So I'm using my algorithm to only show me the things that I want. I don't want to follow more real estate people. I don't want to follow people who talk about novations or flips or wholesales, because I know it. I've learned it. I'm in the next season. And so I want you guys who are struggling with focus to understand that and reclaim it. It's super, super freaking powerful. And here's the big thing with that. If you feel like you've heard the message before, unfollow. That's it. You don't need to hear the same message a million times over and over again. Like, once will do. Trust me, once will do. And go learn new things. Let's go to the next one, man.
I love it. All right, awesome. Next question came in and said, how do you recover after hearing no repeatedly, like when your offers are consistently rejected? Okay, that's a great question, because if you're hearing no repeatedly, one of two things is happening. Either A, you're doing something extremely wrong, or B, you're doing something extremely right. Right. And so let's look into it, because no is simply, it's not an end all be all. It's an opportunity to understand, like, why are we getting the no's? So are you getting a no because your offers are going in without properly framing them? Are you getting a no because your offers don't make any sense and you're not presenting it to the right person? Are you talking to the wrong people? Or are you like me? When I was getting started, I was following all the guidelines. I was doing everything my mentors were telling me to do. I was going through the process just as I was supposed to. And I was getting no's without realizing that no's were a part of the yeses. No's created the yeses. They were a part of this entire process, that rejection is, in fact, built into this game. This is why no one has a 100% close rate. This is why 100% of, like, you're never going to meet a marketer that is batting at 1,000. It will never happen, because people are going to say no. That's just inevitable. And so the sooner you start to understand and disassociate from the no and not take it personal, not recognize it as a failure on your part, but instead of, it's a part of the process. And this means it's feedback. And the good kind of feedback is, it just means, hey, this isn't the right person. And the other good kind of feedback is, hey, something about my approach isn't working, and it's an opportunity to adjust. It's feedback. So that's my thing here. It's like, when I stopped taking no's personal was when I started to allow no's to actually fuel me. And shout out to Caroline for this, because she's the one that gave me this perspective on it. She said, one day, what if your no's, right? Like, she's like, how many no's before you got to your yes? And I forgot the number. Let's say it was 100. She's like, cool. And then you made $10,000 on that deal. She's like, all right, cool. So every no that you received effectively is worth $100. Every time you hear the word no, that's $100 going into your bank, because every no leads to that yes. Sam, what about you? Like, what do you think? How does a person recover after hearing no repeatedly, like when their offers are consistently rejected?
So I want to say this, guys. I'm just getting some love on Instagram from Tommy Thornburg. Freaking love Tommy. He's so epic. Okay. I want to say this. You can't take no's personally. This is the biggest thing when you're starting out, especially in sales or marketing. No's cannot be taken personally. You have to intake them. A lot of times in the beginning, right? You get no's, you get cussed out, you get all these things. And what ends up happening is this: do I want you to be able to reflect on what you could have done better? Absolutely. But the problem is we have a hard time differentiating like the data and the feedback versus and having this layer of insulation, this layer of separation, and not taking it as a wow, I suck. Wow, I'm terrible. Wow, I'm not meant for this. And what needs to happen is you can have the feedback without the emotions. That's a critical differentiation. I think the best salespeople, especially the ones who go the farthest, are the ones that they just understand. It's like, hey, cool, you cuss me out, all good. It doesn't affect me because the second that I hang up the phone, you have no influence in my life. And that's it. And it's okay if Mark Anthony from San Antonio, Texas, cussed me out when I lowballed him on a cash offer. Totally okay. Why? Because as soon as I hang up the phone, Mark Anthony has no influence on my life at all. And so we have to be able to have this layer of insulation. And here's what I'll say. I'm studying high level marketing. I've been talking about this a lot on Instagram specifically. And that's that in 2025, we are gearing up. Our main focus in my business is straight up one core like marketing hit that we need to one achievement that we need to hit. And we know we can do it. And it's $1 million in a month. There's a lot that goes into that. There's a lot that goes into it. It's an extremely in-depth process. But here's the thing, guys. I am studying marketers who aren't doing $1 million in a month. They're doing $1 million in a day. And guys, that sounds like stupidly big and it sounds like mind-bending numbers. And to a degree it is. But here's the key. Here's what I've realized. The guys who do that $1 million, you'd expect their conversion rates to be at 110%. Bro, I'm finding out that they're doing $1 million a day with a 7% conversion rate, with a 10% conversion rate, with a up to, and like the ones who are crushing it, who are the most optimized, the best in the game, they're between like 30 to 40%. And then when you start understanding that even the best in the freaking world are batting at 30%, that's it. Like that's what they're hitting. You're like, oh, cool. Because it actually doesn't take very much for you to be able to get your conversion rate to 30%. And so what I think is people need to do, I love this kind of analogy from Alex Ramosi. I don't have one, but I'm going to use this as an example. And he talks about Yeti mugs, right? You know, the Yeti mugs are the Stanley Cups, right? Yeah. And the whole thing with them is they stay, whatever's inside stays cold or hot, depending on whatever it is. But the reason why is because the actual shell, right? The walls of it, the tumbler walls, there's actually air between the walls. That's why you'll see them, they're like double-walled stainless steel cups. What's in between those walls is air. So no matter how hot it is outside or how cold it is outside, there is a layer of air between the internal stuff, aka you and how you feel, and all the bullshit that is happening outside that you want to take personally. And so no matter what happens, if it's hot outside or cold outside, what's inside the Yeti stays what it's supposed to. You need to start thinking of yourself like a Yeti mug.
You know, it's funny, Sam, from a practical standpoint, when I was running my wholesale operation, what I would do every single morning with my team, we called them morning huddles. And during the morning huddles, I made them do 3 things every single day. First off was attitude of gratitude. They had to always think about what they were grateful for. And that just started to, what I thought about it as is you're building this energetic shield in front of you because we're about to put you on the phone where you are going to be rejected. You are going to be cursed out. Some people are going to be upset that you are calling them. That's a given. So I'm not going to send them in without armor. Attitude of gratitude. The second thing that I would do with them, Sam, is I would ask them again, what are your goals? What's your 1-year goal? What's your quarterly goal? And I'm not talking about for the business. I was talking about personal, like what's your personal life goals outside of work? And I asked them this every morning. And then I would ask them this third question. Hey, is working here and making these calls still going to allow you to get there? And I just wanted them to be reminded regularly that, hey, what you're going through has a purpose. And so you're going to be willing and able to get through the rejection, through the nose, because on the other side, I'm constantly reminding you about what's on the other side of that rainbow. And so it was every day I thought about it as like, we're just building the shield back up because by the end of your shift, that shield is going to be broken down by the people in the world. And just like that Stanley Cup, I got to put that filter in between your core of you. Because if I don't do that, you're going to burn out. You're going to break down in 3 weeks, in 3 months, and I'm going to lose an employee. So I love that analogy of the Stanley Cup. We got a question here from Amar Elahamaway.
Well, actually, let's do this. Before we get to Amar, I realize we skip one from Deborah. But let's do this. Before we get to Deborah, dude, we are 23 minutes in. You want to go ahead and let's announce what we're going to be giving away and tell people what they need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. So tonight,
yeah, you can start.
Yep. So I'll tell you guys what my giveaway is, and I'll let Sam announce his giveaway. I'm going to be giving away one of the most valuable books that I have personally ever read, and I don't take this lightly. This book I stumbled upon. I truly, truly, truly did not know it existed. And when I listened to it in audio format, and it came to me on total accident, Sam. I was on YouTube, one of those videos played, and then the next video played on its own, and it captured my attention entirely, where I had to stop everything I was doing. I'm like, what am I listening to? This is freakishly spot on. And since then, I like to say it's kept me awake and it's kept me focused. And that book is written by one of my favorite authors, Napoleon Hill. So I'm going to be giving away one of his copies of this particular book. I'm not going to say the title here because it has a really strange title, just being totally honest. It's a very, very strange title. But the interesting thing about this book was when I discovered it, I found myself at a networking event about a week or two later with, if you remember Carlos from All In, he was there running it, and he and I started talking in the hallway, and I mentioned this book, and this dude stopped, and he was like, dude, that book, brother, is the most powerful book I've ever read. And so we're going to be doing a giveaway of that book by Napoleon Hill. If any of you know what you think it is, put the answer in the chat. I would love to see if anyone already knows what book I'm thinking about. Tawana, you should know what book I'm talking about. And Chris, you should know what book I'm talking about because we've discussed this in the past. But in order to earn that book, because it has to be earned, you need to do two things. First, you need to be subscribed to both my channel and Sam's channel. So if you're here because of me, I need you to go over to Samsing. It's Archsamsingh on YouTube. I need you to subscribe to Sam's channel. And when you subscribe, I'm going to show you guys actually how this is done because I'm personally like a show and tell kind of guy. So I'm going to just do this. We're going to take 2 minutes to do this right now. I want you guys to do this with me. So if I were to open up a new tab, if it lets me open a new tab, Sam, it's not letting me share.
Damn. I think people get it.
Well, now I'm locked out of my screen. We'll see what happens here.
Yeah, you know, one of these days we're gonna graduate and like have like someone who actually knows how to handle all this stuff, actually handle this stuff, because you and I are not the guys.
Yeah, let's see. I am currently now officially locked out of my screen. Let's see if here we go. I just got to bring it over to my other screen. Cool. Guys, look at this. We're going to youtube.com. Right? Type it in youtube.com. Sam, you like my newsfeed on YouTube and on all social media? By the way, talking about distraction, when I go onto Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, any of that, this is what my newsfeed looks like on all of them. I have it that I don't get distracted, so I'm able to remember what I came here for. So I would type in archsamsingh. Boom, look at that handsome man, Sam Singh. And this is what's important. When you come over to Sam, I'm going to unsubscribe so I can show you guys exactly what I need you to do. You're going to click the subscribe button. Next to that subscribe button is a little down arrow. You're going to click on all notification. This way, when Sam's going live, you will actually be told, hey, he's live. So many people missed Sam's last masterclass because they didn't have the notification turned on. And they said, I never saw it. Where did you talk about it? He said, I went live on my social media. Why didn't you follow me? They said, I am following you. The problem is you're following 1,000 other people and the algorithm doesn't know which one you think is important. This is why we tell you to unfollow people. And this is why we tell you to put the notifications on. Only if, keyword, you're getting value from us. If you're not getting value from us, don't follow us, period. Like, don't waste your time following us. We want you to have success. So if you're on Sam's page, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to go to my page, which is just typing in Mindset Marlon. I'm that first handsome devil right there. And same thing. You're going to hit the subscribe, turn the notification on. That's number one. Number two, after you do that, screenshot yourself watching this episode and tag us on Instagram. Tag at mindsetmarlon, tag at archsamsingh. This is how we're going to be doing the giveaway tonight. All right, Sam, did I capture that? I think I got everything there.
You did. Okay, guys, I want to give you guys my giveaway. I love giving you guys knowledge because I think knowledge is important, and it's something that I'm hell-bent on compressing the time it takes to get the understanding that you need. And you guys know this. You guys know, and I've made it very, very clear that as much as I love real estate, I love business exponentially more. I think there's just so much more opportunity. I think for me, in the things that I want to do in my life, it comes down to business. It's why I've grown so much. It's why I've scaled so much. It's what makes me tick. And if you are like me, I think a lot of you guys are like me, if you're here, you want to go pretty freaking big in life. And so someone who I've never given away a book for this person before, but I think this person's someone worth being on your radar if she isn't already. And you guys know we're huge advocates of Alex Hormozi and Layla Hormozi. We love them. We think they're the best. But there's someone else who's getting a lot of attention online who I think deserves that and more. And that person is Cody Sanchez. I think Cody Sanchez is doing something so unique, man. We talked about the transfer of wealth the other week, right? The transfer of wealth that is happening. We have the greatest transfer of wealth in American history is happening right about now over the next like 5-10 years. And all of us are the ones who can win. But the problem is we're not thinking big enough. And when we start talking about buying businesses and acquiring businesses, here's my trouble with that, Marlon. On YouTube, everybody freaking sucks teaching you how to buy businesses. And what ends up happening is the average person who's just like us, they don't understand how to do it. It doesn't click. And that all changed for me when I came across Cody Sanchez. I've never seen anyone simplify business acquisitions, buying small businesses, growing them, buying more and scaling and growing. I don't think I've seen anyone articulate it and make it as approachable as Cody Sanchez has. And if you guys didn't know, her mission was she used to work for Wall Street, right? And now her whole thing is like, let's bring the power back to Main Street, the average everyday American, and let's help them grow, not the fat cats with stocks and bonds. And so what's happening is Cody Sanchez is about to launch her book. It's called, oh my God, I'm blanking on the name already. I feel terrible. So it's going to be The Main Street Millionaire. I don't know why I was going to call it The Wall Street Millionaire. Main Street Millionaire is her new book. It's in pre-launch. And here's the cool thing. Whoever wins, I'm going to buy the book for you. But two, here's the cool thing. Anyone that gets the book that I buy the book for, you'll actually get a special ticket to her launch event that's happening, I think, December 12th or 13th in Austin, Texas. It's going to be a virtual ticket, guys. But in Austin, Texas, she's actually renting out a freaking mega church in Austin. It's like a Joel Osteen kind of huge church stadium type thing. And she is going to be holding effectively the biggest, baddest, hugest freaking small business buying virtual event, kickoff event in history. And I think what's happening, man, is I think we have a new player on the block. We love Hormozi for scaling and growing massively and doing these huge advanced enterprise value things. But I think Cody is going to be able to make a huge stamp on the world in helping everyday people escape poverty, escape the rat race, not by buying real estate, but by buying boring small businesses. And I see this as her big debut concert. So whoever I buy the book for, you're going to get a front row ticket to that effectively. So that's it. Let's get back to the Q&A.
Love it. Let's bring Deborah's question back up here. So Deborah says, if marketing is not a strong suit, what suggestion do you have to help with this?
Ooh, okay. I'm going to, from a tactical standpoint, it depends on if you're talking about real estate or if you're talking about businesses. So if you are talking about real estate, here's a reality. And I'm going to differentiate marketing versus sales. Okay, Deborah, I love this. So marketing is the process of getting people to know about what you do and generating leads, right? Getting people to say, yes, I'm interested to some degree to buy or transact with you in some way, shape, or form. Sales is the process of you have that lead. Now, how do we convert them? How do we close them, get them to sign on the dotted line? How do we get them to pull out their credit card? So for marketing, we're going to talk about lead generation specifically. The good thing with marketing, Deborah, is it's a lot more formulaic than people think it is. And so we've done an entire series called Lead Gen Mastery, which is basically breaking down the biggest marketing platforms there are in our specific industry, how to start them and how to grow them and how to scale them. But I think, Marlon, we're going to be redoing that whole series to basically reflect for 2025 really soon, right?
Yep. Yeah, we're
Okay.
going to be redoing the big three.
Yep. So we're going to be redoing the big three, which is how to grow a team. Ooh, I love that one. And we're going to redo lead gen mastery and maybe a few other key things. But Deborah, that's going to actually show you how to absolutely grow. But if you want to have something that's really good with learning how to do marketing, I don't want to send you somewhere where you're going to have to pull out your credit card and pay a ton of money. I would say this: go brush up on the lead gen mastery stuff, and you're actually going to want to know. You're actually going to want to be available this Sunday for what I'm going to announce later, because I have a special announcement for that private training, because we're going to go ham on marketing specifically. Anything you want to hit on that, Marlon?
Marlon, you covered that one.
Okay, let's do it. Let's go to the next one.
All right, we got the next question. When faced with multiple opportunities, how do you decide which ones to pursue? Do you have a decision-making thought process around saying no? That's a good question. So, Amar, I would say, all right, I'm going to answer the second half of that and then come back to the first half, because you'll see why. The decision-making process around saying no is very simple to me. It's, what did I already say yes to? And so effectively, once I've already said yes to something, the reality is yes comes with an infinite amount of no's attached to everything else. Think about it like dating. If you decide that you are now exclusive and you're in a marriage or you're in an intimate relationship and you say yes to that person, you have effectively said no to everybody else, at least if you're looking for a happy relationship. And so when faced with multiple opportunities, how do you decide which one to pursue? My answer is going to be a little bit more esoteric, I guess you would say, in the sense that it's got to resonate with you on an alignment core values level, as well as a long-term trajectory. Do you see this choice that you're making as a step in the right direction towards where you want to go? And so you're looking at is it solving the immediate right now problem? Yes. And also, is it allowing me to still move in a forward direction towards my 10-year plan, towards my 5-year future? If the answer is not yes to both of those things, then it's not the choice that personally I would make, because it may be leading me to where I want to be in 10 years. But if it's a misalignment for how I am today, like if it doesn't feel right, let's say, for example, my goals are to become the biggest stockbroker and stock investor in the world, but I know I need startup capital. And one of the options available to me is to go and sell jugs today. Not in alignment. It's going to get me there, but it's not a part of my core values. So you have to make decisions personally based on what's a yes for your core values and also what's a yes for your future. That's how I start to look at decisions. I weigh it against that. And it's not something I take lightly. I do spend time on it. In fact, this past weekend and really these past few days, personally, I've been going through my own decision-making process about a potential opportunity that, quite frankly, I've had to say no to, which is kind of a bummer because it's an awesome opportunity, but it's not in alignment right now. So, Sam, what about you? How's this work in your world?
It's funny because we actually have 3 questions that are basically asking the same thing. He asked that. Matt Munson, love you, Matt Munson. Good to see you, dude. Matt Munson asked that. I think Sydney effectively is asking the same thing. And so here's the key. I'm going to be a little bit more tactical about it. You have to decide. One, you have to do a ton of introspection and figure out exactly where you're at. Right, where starting point A. Right, there's no point in trying to figure out what to do to get you to point B if you don't know where you're at right now. So where are you right now, and what does that actually entail? You need to do a total intake. How much money do you have? How much time do you have? How much effort do you have? Because you may have a ton of time, but like to Sydney's point, she has a job that is very draining because it requires a lot of critical thought process from her, right? So she may have an extra 8 hours, but is she potent for those 8 extra hours, right? So that's another thing. So how much money, how much time, how much of attention do you actually have? And also, like, doing actual intake of understanding your personality. What do you like doing? If you despise other human beings, then sales may not be the best fit for you. Once you do all of these things, here's what's happening. You're not actually deciding what will work for you. You're actually eliminating options about what won't work for you. And that's very, very simple and easy to do. And what's going to happen is that you're going to be left with a laundry list of a few items that may or may not work for you. And here's what you have to do: you have to look at all of them and figure out, and this is my key, which one gives you the most leverage and gets you from point A to point B in the quickest amount of time with the least amount of risk. Now, like, because I can't go in depth with you guys right now on a very specific opportunity, I could go so much more granular, but I want you guys to take this point A, point B, what gets me there the quickest, the fastest, with the least risk involved, right? If I know that it's a lending deal or a lending business, but I only have 50 grand in my name and I'm basically betting my entire net worth on it, I don't know that I like that as much as going and working for someone and having very little skin in the game outside of my time and attention, right? No financial risk, therefore. And so here's the key. In the beginning stages, in the beginning few years, you're going to jump around probably quite a bit. It's true. Why? Because you need to do a bunch of things that are going to help you pay down your ignorance debt so you learn the ecosystem. But the more advanced you get, here's what's going to happen. You're going to realize that you're not going to go from season A to season B in 30 days. In the beginning, right, Marlon, you get this. The beginning, you can go from like newbie to intermediate really freaking fast. But when you start getting to the advanced rate and you want to go from 500,000 a year to $1.5 million a year, that's not a 3-month thing. That might take a year. It might take 2 years of work. Those seasons become longer, right? And when you get to the level that Marlon's at or I'm at now, our whole thing is we have to be very analytical about these specific decisions. We'll even sit on them for a while. We'll sit on them for weeks. We'll talk to each other about it. We'll like soul search on these things. Why? Because now we're not playing with 3-month time horizons. We're playing with 5-year time horizons. And we won't do anything unless we know it's something that we're going to commit to for the next 5 years. So where I'm at right now is specifically for some of you guys asking about which business opportunities. I'm at a point where if I know if I'm not going to be doing it in 5 years, I don't care. I don't care how much money it makes me tomorrow. If I'm not doing it 5 years from now and building something huge in that regard with massive enterprise value, I will not do it. And so for me, I'm actually taking a great deal of pride, not in saying, like a lot of people, they get so prideful about all the opportunities that come to them. I'm starting to become more and more prideful about the opportunities that I'm saying no to, because it means that I'm reinforcing that I said that I'm doing what I said I was going to do. And that's focus on the main thing. And so in the beginning, your time horizons are going to be smaller, but the more you grow, you need to start thinking in longer time horizons, because I saw this great thing. One of my all-time favorite tennis players, Rafael Nadal, is retiring this week from tennis. Unfortunately, it's tragic. It's heartbreaking for me. And Nike has been a lifelong sponsor with Nike. Nike released this great ad campaign, just kind of commemorating him. And it said, and here's a tagline: greatness, it only takes everything. Like, that's it. That's it. It only takes everything. So when you start getting bigger and bigger and bigger and opportunities get bigger to you, just remember, you need to start thinking longer time horizons and putting your all into all the things. So, dude, that's a great question. I love that question.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm going to add this to it. If you are getting ready to step into your first opportunity, I'm going to take a little bit of pressure off of you. Get out of the perfection fallacy of thinking you're going to be able to know if you're picking the perfect right thing, like Sam mentioned. And I want to reiterate this. You're probably going to jump around into a few things in the beginning while you start to figure out what really resonates with you. And I promise you, if you just keep taking action in those early stages, if you're new and you are willing to go and find out for yourself, go and get some of that experience for yourself, you will begin to find, you will bump into, accidentally luck into, encounter the thing that begins to resonate with you. And you're going to find your proverbial hill that you're willing to die on. All right. What next question do we have here? So I think you said that Sydney had the same sort of question here. Let's see. Joel says, I've been having one conflict in my head. I want to be able to make the active income now, but I also want to be able to help build my long-term stability part. So this is for everybody. This is going to be a quick one, Joel, especially you. I want you to listen to this. Active income first. Make your active income. Like, there is no, this is black and white. There is no gray area here. There is no putting the cart before the horse. You are going to go and make your active income. That is your engine that is going to move the vehicle. Do not, do not, do not begin buying assets. And I'm talking, when I say assets, I'm talking in the realm of big, large, like real estate, where you're risking hundreds of thousands of multi-millions of dollars of debt if you do not have active income to support that margin. Okay.
I want to hit on this really quickly. Joel, you need to go back and watch an episode of Think Big. It was titled something to the effect of why you should not buy rentals. And that was a huge thing where we talked about the dark side of the industry. And I really want you to go back and hit on that and go rewatch that, because I can sense, Joel, because you've come here a few times, I can sense that, I think you know what needs to be done. The problem is, I can almost guarantee you're probably not limiting the influences around you enough. So you're probably like, when you're feeling down or when you feel like you need to do more, what do? You open up Instagram and you see someone who's buying rental number 98, right? And because we're influenced people and it's easy to influence us, you may not have the discernment muscle to immediately like red flag it and be like, yeah, but that person's making $10 million a year. They should be buying 90 rentals, right? With you, here's the key, guys. Think big, think long-term, sure. But don't forget to play to where you're at right now. You need to play to the season that you're in, and don't get too far ahead of yourself, because when people forget the season they're in and they try to play 3 seasons ahead, that's when it all falls apart.
Love that. Love that.
Let's go next one.
All right. D Cornell says, what are you guys putting your money into? Question mark. That's a good question. So this actually might be interesting, because I don't think I've ever actually told people that I even do this. And I'm not telling anyone. Like, I'm about to say something. No one asked me for advice. No one asked me to guide them in this, because I will not. I shall not. And I just won't. But Sam, I don't even think I told you this. Like, I own stocks too. Like, I'm a real estate guy. Yeah, like I buy real estate assets, but I also buy stocks. So I like having assets in multiple classes. And it's been really cool watching my portfolio go up. But that's just me personally. And I'm assuming he's talking about like our personal money, not like our business money, because our business money, we reinvest back into the business. But I'm talking about, because I had someone else ask me that question over the weekend as well. Like, hey, since you use OPM to get into deals and you raise private money for all your things, like, what do you actually do with your own personal money? It pretty much goes into stocks, because if not there, it'd just be sitting in a bank account.
I love that. So my thing is this. I love that. I should say I invested in Dogecoin.
Dude, after the presidential election, dude, like maybe that's why it's on the top of my brain. I mean, I'm always like buying a little bit here and there, but my portfolio is doing freaking awesome.
Yeah, so I don't own crypto. I don't own any crypto. And do I wish I did? Sure, in hindsight, I guess. But my whole thing is this, and this is my realm for anyone who's looking for this type of advice. And this is going to be what Dave Ramsey told Graham Stephan, and by extension told Alex Hormozi. And this is why Alex Hormozi is making $250 million a year. Dave Ramsey basically told Graham Stephan, hey, I want you to look at all the things that you own, all the things that you do in terms of your knowledge. If you could take your brain and make a pie chart out of all of the things that you understand, what do you mostly understand? You know what he said? He said real estate. And he's like, cool. So then you probably shouldn't diversify things outside of real estate, because the majority of your expertise and your understanding and your comfortability is in real estate. So if 50% of your brain power is real estate and then 50% of it's in crypto, I think 50-50 would be a great kind of differentiator, or a great kind of split, right? My thing is simple. With obviously the money that we make in business, it gets all funneled back into the business. For anything that I make personally, I lend it on real estate deals. That way it doesn't sit in my bank account. And also me personally, I'm not telling you all to do this. This is just me. When I have money, especially a large sum of money come into my bank account, I freak out, because like it's there and it like makes me worry that I'm going to start being complacent. So I immediately try to lend it out like within 24 hours, so that my bank account is sitting at basically zero. And that makes me like work really freaking hard. I don't recommend you guys do that. That's just me. But with the other money that I do have left over, I actually invested in the S&P 500. So I am big on, guys, I've spent $177,000 in the last 2 years alone on mentorships, masterminds, CEO coaching, one-on-one coaching at the highest freaking levels. And so I am all about learning as much as humanly possible. So if I have money coming in, I am basically looking at who's going to be my next mentor. What's the next room I need to get in to grow? Things like that. So it's all self-development kind of oriented.
Love it.
Cool.
Love it. All right, let's see. I don't see a new question here on this one, so I'm gonna pull it back over here to my
Cool.
list. All right, here we go. Cool. What's the best way to reframe failure, like when you lose a deal and start questioning your entire strategy?
Okay, that's
Okay,
a good one.
I laugh a little bit. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you. And I'm laughing because, quite frankly, I've done the same thing, right? Like it's, a deal blows up, a lap deal goes south, whatever happens, and then you start questioning, oh my gosh, like, is this the wrong strategy? Is this not for me? And the reality is, you just had a deal go south. Like that's gonna happen. It's kind of like a girl. You ask a girl out and she says no, right? Does it mean that having a girlfriend and getting married is no longer a viable strategy? No, it just means one girl said no to you on that particular day. And so one seller or one customer, depending on whatever industry you're in, said no to you on that particular day. And here's what I need you to do. I need you to understand it's okay and it happens to all of us. Rejection is a part of the game at any level and at all levels. And if you don't think so, you are sadly mistaken. So we're here to hopefully reframe your mind into understanding you are going to face rejection. It is a part of the process. And if you're facing rejection, it means you're, again, like I said earlier, you're doing something right. Because if you weren't doing anything at all, you would be facing nothing. So the fact that you're facing rejection means you're going out there and you're taking action and you're doing better than 99% of the people who are still thinking about it. Sam, what do you have to say about that? The best way to reframe failure.
Um, I love it. So I actually am very much an advocate of Caroline's way of viewing things, that a failure is actually a requirement to success. It's actually a prerequisite to success. And so I think this. I think that you only are allowed to have a negative framing of failure if you learn absolutely nothing from it. And as long as you are able to look at a failure and identify what went wrong and understand what happened, why it happened, and most importantly, how we can prevent that from happening again to the best of our ability. You do that, that is not a failure. That is a win all day. And so it's like one of the greatest things of all time is, Thomas Edison basically tried to make a light bulb a million different ways and he failed, a million minus one. And then when asked about like, how do you feel about these failures? He's like, I didn't fail anything. I just found a million ways to not make a light bulb, but I only needed to find one way to actually make it work. And what ends up happening, change the course of human history. And so
Yeah.
that's it. That is actually it all day. And so the only time is if it's a failure is if you learned absolutely nothing from it. So
You,
I'm
you want to
okay with
hear
failing all day.
you want to hear an interesting thing about Thomas Edison when it comes
Mm.
to failure? Because he really is. I'm glad you used him as an example. He really is someone that showed a deep level of persistence that's required in order to have noteworthy success. He at one point in his life had his lab, it caught fire, right? Like an experiment went wrong, the entire lab went up in flames. And this is back in the day that if a building catches fire, I mean, the building's burning down. Fire departments are not that advanced. They're not getting there that quickly. They don't have cell phones. So, a fire has to be burning for a while before anyone gets word to the department and before the department even gets there. And so when Thomas Edison gets word of the fire, you know what he does? He has his son with him, and he says to his son, "Go get your mom. Go, 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 go." And he's like, "Go tell her she's got to come over here." Right? Like, when are we ever going to get to see an amazing fire like this again? While the fire is happening, while his laboratory is literally being burned down, he immediately looks for the positive inside the opportunity. When are we going to get to watch something like this? Like, we had to build this to even be able to watch it burn down. There's gratitude in that moment. And so think about that as you're facing some of these tough moments. Think about the fact that you are now the person who you're in position to have these opportunities, to have the fact that a deal went south. Wow. How lucky are you that you have leads that deals can go south on? Oprah Winfrey got sued for millions of dollars. And she says, "Oh my gosh, I'm the type of person that now gets sued for millions of dollars." How freaking cool is that? Because it's a sign of growth. It's a sign of progress. So I love that, and again, I know it's easier said than done. However, there's an actor out there, Matthew McConaughey. I was listening to a podcast he really recently did with
Chris.
uh, Chris on Modern Wisdom, and he talks about that. He says, one of the skills that he feels he has is he's developed this ability to take these rough life situations, and in the moment, his response is to laugh through it. And he says, I don't get why people get so upset when you do this. He's like, because this is a way of, he's like, when I laugh, I'm not laughing at you, but I'm laughing at the fact that this is the reality and I'm accepting the reality. And I'm looking because I knew this moment was inevitable because it's a part of life. And so it's just kind of funny that here we are again in this valley of despair. And I knew it was going to happen. So what am I going to do? Do you want me to be upset about it? Or do you want me to find some joy, some humor, and continue to push through? Because I know on the other side, there's another mountain to summit. So I love that here.
Last thing on this one, I want to say this because it's something that I don't know why my algorithm's been showing me this quite a bit, and it's this whole idea that literally every single problem that I have right now, Sam 3 years ago, like one wouldn't believe that we leveled up that damn much to get problems like that. And two, like the problems that I have are because I'm solving problems that Sam 3 years ago like only dreamt about solving. I remember, dude, I remember getting into this industry and be like, man, $10,000 a month with a wholesale. Like, oh my, like, dude, I was just like, if I could make that, I'm good. I'm good. I don't need anything more. Right. That's where I was at. And now what's interesting is every problem that we have that we allow to stress us and give us pressure, it's really kind of cool to see because they're just indicative of the fact that we leveled the heck up. And so, guys, I'm very adamant about this. I want bigger problems. I want bigger problems. I want bigger fires to put out. I want bigger stressors in my life because those are like literally the level of pressure you feel in business is correlated to how big your business is. It's correlated to how much value you're bringing to the ecosystem. You don't get $1 million lawsuit like Oprah did, right, for millions of dollars unless you're helping freaking millions of people. Like that is the equal and opposite truth of that. Marlon and I believe in the law of equivalent exchange, and it's like you want to solve problems for millions of people. Guess what? You're gonna have to put out millions of dollars worth of problems to do it. That is the law of equivalent exchange. So be grateful for both of them because they come hand in hand.
Yeah, guys, if you're writing notes right now, I want you to keep this phrase: pressure bursts pipes and pressure makes diamonds. It's up to you to figure out which one you're going to be. Are you going to be a pipe or are you going to be a diamond?
Okay, let's do this. We got a few lasting questions from these people who all wait till the last second. I want to fire through these and then let's go ahead and do the giveaway stuff in the announcement of the trainings. I want to make sure everyone here is able to get onto the trainings. So
by the way, for the giveaway, keep in mind we are only doing the giveaways if you tag us on IG that you are watching this podcast. And so far, I've only seen 3 tags. So, I'm like, it's going to be pretty easy to pick the winners here. I want to be able to give away. A lot of you guys are engaging. We got about 30 people on live right now. A lot of people are engaging, but I want to see you be able to actually win. I'm not bending the rules for anybody.
It's funny because I actually saw someone who posted and they didn't tag us. And I'm just like, come on. Follow instructions, folks. Okay, so you guys have a little bit of time to get that done. If you guys want the awesome book from Marlon, if you guys want the book from me, that's going to be Cody Sanchez's pre-launch book that also gets you a ticket to her private event, which is sick. Okay, so Thomas Shapiro, real quick, asked advice between Dispo or agent acquisitions, which is best. I need to make money soon. 18 years old, want to get on my feet. I have some idea on building buyers, sellers, see more rougher recommendations. Okay, so here's the one thing. I want you to remove like this kind of word from that entire question, and that's the word soon. You, in my opinion, your goal, I made a post about this recently, and here's the thing. Your first year, Thomas, your goal is to stay in business, stay alive, okay? Not just be a statistic of failure and someone who bails out in the first year. Your number one goal is to stay in the business the first year. And your second goal on top of that's probably tied for first is to learn as much as humanly possible. It is not to make money. It is not to make money at all. If you do deals and you break even on expenses, and like you're cool, you don't actually make any money, it's all good, but you learned a ton, that's what you're investing in. You're freaking 18. So I wouldn't worry about making money anytime soon. I would worry so much about how can I put years and years and decades of other people's knowledge into my brain as soon as possible. Because the sooner you do that, the sooner you get skilled. And like the skills are what you're going to leverage to actually make a ton of money. But at 18 right now, just getting started, I'd imagine, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, that you probably don't have a ton of skills just quite yet. Compound some skills and the money will follow like clockwork. That's my take. Okay. Ooh, I love this. Matt Munson. I'm considering starting a podcast. My question is, how do you guys continually provide so much value and consistency? Appreciate that. How do you come up with so many amazing topics without repeating yourselves? So straight up, Matt, we do repeat ourselves. Yep. Absolutely. And here's the thing. We understand that for certain people, they've heard us say the thing 95,000 times. But we also understand that for every time they hear it again, there's 5 people who just heard it the first time. And so I want you to think about it this way, Matt. Anyone that you look up to, Alex Hormozy, Pace Morby, Grant Cardone, Cody Sanchez, all these people, you know, those things, those slogans they have that, you know, they're one-liners. They're kind of, you know, for Alex, it's a woman in the red dress. For Pace Morby, it's the finding the bunnies, right? All these things. They've said those things a million times, right? And could you imagine if they only said it one time and refused to say it again? You probably would never have resonated with them. You probably would never have come into their ecosystem. So when you start going to podcasting, you have to understand, one, do it for yourself first and foremost. If it's not sustainable for you, it doesn't matter. So you have to enjoy what you do. 2, I like doing it with my best friend. Like Marlon's one of my best friends on earth. He was the first person I came to when I'm like, dude, we should start a podcast. Literally the first person I contacted. And he was like, I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to do it. And we enjoy it because it's us doing things that we like doing. And then 3, it's okay. You will repeat yourself. And that's kind of the point, because you have to remember and I really want you to imagine this. If you're worried about repeating yourself, just remember that every week there is a new person in the audience who you have a chance to make a first impression on. And like that should be your grounding focus. And a lot of people, they need to hear the message, maybe once or twice or even 3 times. Yeah, Marlon, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, people need to be reminded more than they need to be taught. So if you ever feel like you are repeating yourself, that's a good thing. People need to be reminded more than they need to be taught.
Beautiful. Okay, I was wondering, which one are you able to build most of the lifelong people? I want to also change lives while doing what I'm doing. Okay, Joel, I always wondered, which one are you able to build most relationships and lifelong people? I want to also change lives while doing what I'm doing. Joel, I'm going to be real with you here, bro. Be very real with you here. Stop thinking about everything that isn't making active income to you right now. Forget the making lifelong relationships. Forget about doing anything else that doesn't give you a monetizable skill set that makes you money right now. Trust me, the more skilled you get, the more impact you have. The bigger the credibility package you have behind you because you've done the thing, the more reach you'll have to the rest of the world to build relationships. Right now, dude, don't worry about any of that stuff. Just focus on getting skills right now that make you money right now. I promise you, if you turn everything else off and just focus on that, you will get to solve those bigger problems sooner than you think. Okay, Marlon, I think we're good on questions, bro. Let's do it.
So let's see. Let's check the IG and see who has been tagging us. I'm getting some more tags, which I love.
It's so funny. Jay tagged us and like her close. I still to this day do not know how to do the close friends thing, and I don't know who I would put into that. Dude, the close friends thing on Instagram. It's like I don't know how that works, and I'm afraid to do it. Like, because what if someone finds out that I put them like they're someone else into the close friends and not them, and they confront me on that? I'm scared about that.
Yeah, I'm seeing that right now. All right, so we got Deborah tagged us, Jade tagged us, Sydney. Shout out to Sydney. Sydney just won a copy of 100 mil offers last week. Our homie Amar, Matthew Munson, Manny. I got a notification from Manny, but doesn't look like a tag, Manny. All right, cool. So, I mean, I got to say something right now. I got to say, I personally want to give a book to our homie Amar because he's been showing up in the comments today. He's been showing up. He looks like he re-downloaded IG tonight just to be able to tag us. Like, this man is taking action. And so I like to reward action takers. Like, action takers in my world will be rewarded. So I'm voting that we give one to Amar.
Huge. I love it. Okay, so awesome. It's so funny. You know what I love? Half the people who've tagged us are people who've already won something, and they've already won, but they show up and still do the thing as if they're playing for the first time. And although I can't choose you guys because we just gave you guys some stuff and I can't just keep giving you gifts over and over, at least right now, I do want to say, Sydney, Chris, love you guys. You guys are amazing for that. But I want to choose someone who is, and Jade too. Jade is freaking awesome. I think Jade was a bonus giveaway. But someone I want to give away to. Oops, sorry, my screen's bugging out here. 100%. Ooh, this is going to be really good for the Cody Sanchez giveaway because her thing is about buying businesses. I know this is something this person really, really, really is hell-bent on, and I think has a lot of potential to do. Dude, my brother, Matt Munson, 100%. I want to hook you up with her book and a ticket to her event. I want you to be basically front row to that event. So, Matt Munson, you win, bro. Love you, dude.
I love it. Matt and Amar, congratulations. Amar, shoot me a DM, shoot me a message, and we'll get that sent over to you. And Matt, shoot me a message. I'll get that sent over to you as well. You're both gonna get a copy of this book.
Huge.
Guys, if you enjoyed tonight, if you got value from tonight, make sure you pay your dues. I love like what Amar says. He says, I never attend anyone else's live stream, but I appreciate all the value that you guys provide. All we ask for is you do two things. Smash that like button, hit the subscribe, and share this with a friend. Really, like, send this out to someone. Like, if you know someone who's been struggling with these sort of questions and they need these sort of answers, send it to them personally. And what's cool about this, when you send value to other people, if they get value from it, they don't associate the value to Sam or to me. They associate the value to you. So start to grow your network and start to give value to the people inside of your life. Sam, anything else we got to say before? In fact, wait, Sam, you're doing something this weekend, right?
Yep. Guys, okay. So this is going to be a closed training. I'm going to hit you guys with this. You guys know I've been getting a lot of people in my DMs who've been really pissy about the fact that I haven't done a masterclass in like 6 months. The reason why is because I don't sell anything. And there's really most of the times when you get 500-600 people on a call, the whole point is to sell them something. And you guys know me. I don't sell coaching. I don't do any of that stuff, at least right now. I haven't done an online training for a long time, but I've had this epidemic happen of people who are coming to me, some of you guys in the chat who actually DM me quite a bit on Instagram, and I find out about the stupid things that are being taught to you in certain programs and the amounts of money you're having to spend doing things that logically make no sense. And so what I've realized is there's too many influencers and gurus in the space who are telling you to scale. They love that word. And right now, with most of these people, scale equals one thing: spend more money on marketing and launch more marketing channels. And what ends up happening is this: it is a great way for you to go broke. And so this upcoming Sunday, I'm going to teach you not how to scale, because scaling the way that you think it is absolutely freaking wrong. I'm going to teach you, most importantly, how to optimize first, then scale. And this is a training, I swear to you guys, it's been 177 grand on masterminding and coaching and mentorship, the whole nine. And I was never taught in any of them how to properly optimize. Why? Because when you pay a coach, you know what they're very often going to do? They're going to tell you to go do something that makes them more money. And they're going to say, you don't need to optimize this channel. You need to go start this other channel as long as you use our affiliate link. And so I've seen so many of my friends and so many of my followers lose tons and tons and tons of money, right, doing stupid crap because they don't know how to optimize. So this Sunday at noon PST, for everyone here, because you're all my homies, I'm going to put the link in the chat. If you don't get the link in the chat, don't worry. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. You guys are going to be in Sunday, noon PST. I'm going to do a super, super in-depth training. It is not for brand new folks. You can come, but you're not, a lot of it's going to go over your head. It is going to be all about optimizing channels. So if you're stuck between like 1 to 5 deals per month and you want to get to 10 plus deals per month, this training will be like rocket fuel on your business. It's completely for free. So if you didn't get the link right there, I put it into our chats. Shoot me a DM on Instagram and I'll get you hooked up. That's it.
Love it. Guys, we'll see you next Tuesday.